this. I don't know how many times I've seen this movie, but a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
First time I ever thought of this. Luke shows up at Jabba's palace, and he is like clearly a different person, right? The last time we saw him, he was recovering and retreating. He almost died. He lost his hand. But we see him walk in, and he possesses this really strong confidence. He chokes a few Gamorrean guards, like I talked about. He has a new lightsaber. It's a completely different Luke. So what do you think about Luke's development as a character, and where is Luke when this story begins?
As I love his development as a character, and I can't remember the last time that I saw this movie before I went back and watched it for this, because when I was a kid, you know, the original Star Wars trilogy was very clearly the dark side and the light side, good versus evil, black and white, and there weren't gray areas, and there weren't failings on the light side, and there wasn't glimmers of good on the dark side. And I always felt like, oh, they brought that crap in when they did the prequels, you know, and muddied everything up. But it's actually not true. Looking at this movie, there's a ton of it. You have to dig a little bit to get to it, but it's there. And so, yeah, he comes in, he's wearing black, which would seem like a dark side thing. He's force choking people, which would seem like a dark side thing.
Definitely is a dark side thing.
He's very menacing, which would seem like a dark side thing. And he's more powerful. So it does feel like he is, in some ways, flirting with the dark side, which is the same path that Anakin was on and ultimately gave into to become Vader. And so it's just so different to go back and see it this time, because when I was younger, it always just came across to me as, oh, Luke got cooler, you know, and more powerful.
Exactly.
But now you realize it's not just he did get cooler and more powerful, but it's not just that. He's in this tenuous position now where he could kind of go either way. His mission is still good. He wants to redeem his father, and he wants to be a full-fledged Jedi on the light side, but you can tell that maybe his trying to find the right word, maybe his obsession with accomplishing that mission is starting to overtake him in dangerous ways. Which is a trend in the Skywalker family.
That's for sure. What do you think, Garrett?
I don't know, just where he was, my first thought was, oh, he's been working with Yoda. He's been developing his skills. But I did notice when he walked into Jabba's palace the first time, I was like, oh dang, like this is very different. He's grown up a lot. But where he was at the beginning of the film, I guess I just really, it didn't quite connect that he wasn't in there for me. Like, I wasn't sitting on the edge of my seat going, wait, where's Luke? Where's Luke? He should be here. It's just when he came in, I was like, oh yeah, he's here too. So it didn't really stick out to me. I just kind of assumed that he was like out working with Yoda or something like that.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, because so this was your first time seeing this movie, Garrett, is that right?
Yeah.
And how much time passed in between you watching Empire and watching Jedi?
I would say a good 5 minutes.
Yeah. So there you go. For me, it was years, because I actually saw Jedi in the theater.
Oh, really?
Or not year. I don't know how it was. However long was between the release dates of the two movies.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure if I saw Empire in the theater, but I did see Jedi in the theater. So there was a time lapse.
You did have to wait.
I did have to wait. Yes, and I remember vaguely, but I do remember the anticipation of seeing Luke.
Right.
And so, and I think that makes a difference, you know, when time has passed for you as a fan.
Yes.
To see this movie, having been passed within the story makes a lot more sense.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to if you're binge watching, then you're kind of like, wait, what happened? Yeah.
Like me.
So I'm gonna you picked up on the exact same things that I picked up on. So I'm just gonna say this concretely because now that I've watched it, I don't know how many times, dozens. I believe that Luke begins this story as a Gray Jedi. Period. I don't think that you brought him up. There's the force choke. That is a dark side power. It's always been a dark side power. Light side people are not supposed to use choke.
Yeah.
He's wearing all black. You brought that up as well. He makes 2 death threats directly to Jabba.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Not wrong.
yeah. So he's rumored to have become a Jedi Knight, if you guys noticed that. Although Yoda tells him later that he's not. Yeah. Right? And that he won't be until he can face Vader. I think that's because he's powerful enough to be a Jedi Knight, but has not chosen the light side, and therefore then can't be the Jedi Knight.
Yeah.
So I think that this is the first instance that we would have ever seen, chronologically speaking, from an actual movie release standpoint, of a Gray Jedi. We just didn't have a name for it at that time.
Although he wore gray in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And he wore white in A New Hope.
That's true. He's getting darker and darker.
I'm just saying. Granted, he wore orange in all 3 movies in between then, so I don't know what that means.
Who knows?
Caution. He's turning dark.
Yeah, so I think he's a great Jedi. I think that's makes the story more interesting to me, which I'd never thought of before.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. I you get that picture in the prequels when you watch those. I really feel like, Obi-Wan is flawed.
Yeah.
And Anakin is obviously flawed.
Yeah.
But I never thought that way about Luke. But as you go back and watch this,
I think your exact explanation of that is exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching it this time going, I've always thought that he just got more badass, but now I'm watching it going, no, I don't know that they're saying that that's good. I used to think that it was good. So yeah, it's interesting that we picked up on that. Is this the first time you picked up on that?
In this movie.
Yeah, same here.